Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Radio Free Wall Street at our new time, 6 o'clock p.m. New York time, every day of the week. I'm glad you are here. Today we had an enormous rally on the stock market. And yesterday we had almost a 300-point drop, and that was what we call a bear trap. Of course, this bear didn't get full in that trap because we know about bear traps, and we like to spring them. Now, they sprung the trap today with a huge rally on Wall Street. And to the uninitiated, uneducated, you don't understand what's going on. And what drove the market higher today was a lot of talk about how they're trying to do a trade negotiation with China and solve the trade spat. Oh, Kumbaya, my lord. Let's get out the guitars and sing folk music around the campfire. Can you feel the love? Reality is that Donald Trump needs a trade war coming into the elections. He's already lost the House as far as we're concerned, unless there's a miracle. And right now he's fighting to keep the Senate. If he loses the House and the Senate, Donald Trump will be impeached. As I guess it's a deep state conspiracy, the end of the world as we know it, mankind becoming uncivilized, the deep state media, the boogeyman, and zombies rising from the dead out of the graves, okay? That's what Donald Trump wants to present to the people. And unfortunately, the people he speaks to, they believe that shit. But that doesn't make any difference because Donald Trump still is in big trouble. Loses the House, there will be endless investigations by the Democrats of Donald Trump. If he loses the Senate or they can get a few senators to go their way, he will be impeached. That's the reality, and Donald Trump knows that. Now, besides screaming fake news, fake news, fake news every chance he gets, deep state conspiracy, phony FBI investigation by Democratic FBI agents and all this bullshit, it ain't going to work. Donald Trump has got to keep the trade war front and center. He's got to be shown as the tough guy fighting for the little guys in the steel mills and the workers of the world uniting under Trump's banner of trade protectionism. That shit ain't going to work. But here's the ploy. Here's what you need to understand. The stock market got a whiff of Donald Trump and the trade wars moderating somewhat, and you had a 396-point rally in the Dow. Now, the problem is that Wall Street really, really, really does not want a trade war. And big companies are all devastated by this thing. The sky-high dollar, brought to you by the trade war. Trade barriers are killing big business, and they know it. And if the trade wars continue and they expand, the stock market will go off a cliff. Now, if the trade wars somehow resolve themselves and Donald Trump makes love kumbaya, my lord, and peace in the valley, oh, can you feel the love? I mean, can you feel the love? And then China will love America, and America will love China, and the NAFTA agreement will be resolved, and Donald Trump would be the great savior of the factory workers of the United States of America. And everyone can get a job at a coal mine, everyone can get a steel mill, and assembly line workers of the world unite. Dunk, da dunk, da dunk, da dunk, da dunk, da dunk. Da-dunk, 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 and they do that about 50 million times. And if they aren't stupid, by the time they get done doing that repetitive work, they will be stupid. Unfortunately, that's not what's going to happen. Donald Trump has got to have a trade war. He's got to have it in the news, up front, in your face, because he's got to bring out the blue-collar vote. Now, I think it's kind of ironic that a limousine liberal from New York, never worked a day in his life city, living in the tower of Metropolis, I'm sure he's got a bat cave up there, shitting in a gold toilet, is now bought by the factory workers of America as their great champion fighting for their rights. No wonder factory workers are strung out on opioids, unemployed, committing suicide, losing their wives and their homes and their pickup trucks because they are stupid. So Donald Trump's only hope is the stupid money. Well, the problem is God's favorite color is stupid, but even when it comes to blue-collar factory workers, there are not enough of them. Because as Donald Trump is trying to gain the factory vote, he's losing the farm vote. His problem is the farmers go, I don't know about this, my Teflon dealer said soybean prices are going down, and I can't afford that. Donald Trump says, listen, Mr. Farmer Green Jeans, hang on. We will prevail. Well, Don, you don't understand. I'm a farmer. We ain't got no freaking money. We keep selling off little pieces of the land that I herded, and we got debts with the bank and debts with the seed company and debts with John Deere. And, well, we can't do it, Donald. We can't wait, Donald. So Donald Trump doesn't understand that. So the farmers are going, well, I think we got screwed here, partner. What do you think? Yeah, I guess maybe up here in Iowa, far away. Donald Trump doesn't know where that is. So all the time the farmers getting together going, so you got county fairs, right? Going, yeah, my pig price is going down. How about yours? Well, yeah, the little fellas ain't selling so well this year. And so they're kind of scratching their bib overalls, figuring out that trade wars are bad. And China's boycotting pork. Now, China, on the other hand, is pretty slick people. They're playing this like a fine Stradivarius. And they're going, well, you got an idiot for a president. He's got to get elected. If he doesn't get elected, he's screwed, and whoever replaces him, we can negotiate with. Let's interfere with the elections, and we'll do it nice and legal, like we're colluding with the Democrats. And Democrats are going, yeah, well, China, you got to defend yourselves, and I would, yeah, there's no problem with tariffs on pork. Donald Trump started this war, so China's interfering in the election big time. They are going to lose Donald Trump the farm vote. Agriculture is screwed. Milk, cheese, butter, eggs, even cattle prices are being affected. Chickens, holy shit, pigs, soybeans, and feed crops. Oh, no. Farmer Green Jeans. That's enough to get them to go to the city and never come back. The French have a saying, once they see Paris, it's kind of hard to get them on the farm, back on the farm. And in America, young people don't want to work on the farm. They found there's no app to do that. So it's like, hey, I ain't doing this shit. I'm going to the big city. Get me a job. So they're leaving the farm in droves. Farm prices are plunging, lumber included. Cheese, milk, butter, all affected by Donald Trump's trade wars. And guess what? Chinese have a plan. Get Donald Trump thrown out on his ass and negotiate some kind of trade agreement when he's gone. History. Now, it's not such a bad plan. Because although the factory worker vote can probably be held by Donald Trump, he's losing the agricultural vote. Now, as far as people who think for a living, people with minds, that's the moderate Democrats and the moderate Republicans. They ain't having nothing this Donald Trump shit. They're tired of him. The tax break bonanza for billionaires did not trickle down for them. Jobs, high-paying jobs are not returning. We created 10 million jobs, and you can scrub toilets, too, among blacks who are uneducated, among Hispanics uneducated, and among felons recently released from prisons. There's a job boom. Why? Well, Consuela's not swimming the Riviera anymore. Nope. Jorge, he ain't coming either. So now all the problems, the lowest menial, lowest paying jobs that normally are taken by blacks, prisoners, and Hispanics are back in the market again. Why? Well, because the problem is the welfare system is being changed. In many states are demanding that people work. All of a sudden, felons are being forced to get a job. And employers all of a sudden go, well, I see you're a felon and you robbed a 7-Eleven, and do you promise not to rob the 7-Eleven give you a job? I promise, partner. No problem. You have a job. And, hey, Julio, come here. Can you shake that French fry basket? Yes, I can. Do you promise not to get stoned? I have medical marijuana. Wow, dude. Okay, Julio. How about if you don't get stoned at work? I ain't promised nothing, partner. Well, you're hired anyway. But try to refrain from getting stoned so you don't stick your hand in the French fry basket full of hot oil. Ooh, dude. That gives me workers' comp and disability, right, dude? Ooh. That's an idea there. Wow, dude, man. So what you got is the biggest boozer, loser, drug users, felons, people who say lack motivation and skills being hired in the lower echelons of the labor force. And Donald Trump celebrates, this president has created 10 billion jobs, lowest black unemployment rate ever. Oh, black rocket scientists? No. African-American engineers? No. Hispanic doctors and lawyers? No. Convicted good old boy felons with their pick-em-up trucks? No. No high-paying jobs. So in essence, what's happened is the employment numbers reflect a shift in the workforce, which means that since the illegal aliens can't come in that want those jobs, other people who normally would not take them are being forced into them. There's not more jobs available in fast food. There's not more jobs available in cleaning toilets, nursing care, lawn services. What's happening is the market has an aberration in that the illegal immigrant labor from Mexico is not coming to take those jobs. And so the lower echelons people who are washed out in our society are taking them, and that's why Donald Trump can take a victory lap. So I'm glad African Americans have the lowest unemployment rate ever, but the question I want to ask is, what is the quality of their unemployment, and what is their pay scale, and how does African American employment wage-wise compare to white American wages? Hello? I said, how's the pay compare? Miss Huckabee, come back, Sarah Sanders, come back, honey. Sweetheart, baby, honey, darling. How's the pay? Oh, Donald Trump says that every American wants a job should have a job. I understand that. And Kellyanne, what do you think? It's about jobs. Oh, every time I get started, jobs. Oh, jobs. This person cares about jobs. Oh, Donald, jobs. Well, Kellyanne, can you compose yourself, please? So the bullshit is starting to filter through, and even the dummies of the dumbest. Remember, God's favorite color is stupid, painting the whole world that way, starting to figure it out. We ain't getting no bonuses. We're not getting any pay increases. We're not seeing any measurable opening of new factories with high pay jobs, high technology. It was more of the same bullshit. So Donald Trump's got a problem. And the problem is that the workforce is not getting the rewards of the tax break bonanza of billionaires. $1.3 to $1.5 trillion tax break for the biggest businesses and the biggest billionaires. No filter down, no trickle down, piss down effect at all. That gets even uglier. Because what's happening is corporations in America on the trade wars, Donald Trump, are not getting increased orders, not seeing increased sales, just the opposite. They're being boycotted left and right around the world. And they can't make it. The dollar is soaring in value, crippling their ability to sell. Their goods are much more expensive. Did I mention a little itsy-bitsy problem about trade sanctions? Now you got Farmer Green Jeans ain't selling the pork, ain't selling the chickens, ain't selling the beef, ain't selling the grains or the feedstock. And all of a sudden, Donald Trump's bumbled into a great big problem. So here's the momentum. What he's got to try to do is overcome the real reality is going to lose the farm vote, if you can bullshit him. And it's not too hard. People have been bullshitting farmers for a long time. But anyway, if he can bullshit them, and then if he can maybe get the blue-collar guys to come for their factory jobs and steel mills and coal mines to come for him, and then he can hope and pray for a miracle. So he's in a trap. If he backs off the trade war, the votes he's getting from the people he convinced the trade wars was good for their jobs now will feel betrayed. If he stays in the trade war, the problem is big agriculture is suffering immensely, and farmers and pig farmers and all the chicken farmers, are going to be chicken wings and ding-dongs and, oh my God, McDonald's hamburgers, Kentucky Fried Chicken in China. Oh no! Soybeans coming from Brazil? Well, not from Minnesota. Ooh. So Trump has stepped on his great big foot. Our opinion is that Wall Street will be devastated first when they realize, as we get closer to the election, that the trade wars are a big, hairy-ass mistake. And the sky-high dollar is really, really affecting seriously businesses, which is 30 to 40% of their income is on their U.S. exports out of America. They're losing it. Mr. Farmer Green Jeans now, he's got a problem. Again, not selling his grains, not selling his pork, not selling his dairy products, and now affecting other meat products. Oh, no, what the hell there? So Donald Trump now has got to convince the factory worker that he will see a big benefit at some point in the future because more factories will return to America. As Donald Trump says, we're going to see that great Made in America label on things, and they're going to be driven in Made in America trucks by Made in America truckers, and on Made in America trains, and on Made in America boats to nowhere. Because no one's going to buy the shit. The price is too high. So Donald has stepped on his great big foot. And our opinion is the way this is going to shake out is that as we get close to the election, the numbers should rolling in, and I'm afraid Donald's got himself a great big Class A ugly situation that I don't believe he can redeem himself from. Now, advanced polling is showing, and I mean the reliable stuff, not the stuff that is normally on those TV biz shows, is showing that there is a serious problem with the Republicans in the House, in that there'll be huge losses and the Democrats will sweep the House. It is now advanced polling that says that as things stand now, 50-50 chance only that the Republicans can keep the Senate. Now, as I've been insisting, Republicans lose the Senate and Republicans lose the House, and Donald Trump gets impeached and thrown out on his ass. If they have just a slight majority in the Senate and they can turn a few senators, Donald's dead meat. So things look very bad for the president. I know that Fox News tells you it's great, and I know it's a deep state conspiracy and Democratic FBI agents and all that bullshit. But that crap's really nice, and that might make a Hannity interview, but it ain't going to do shit to sway the courts of America. As we speak, one of Donald Trump's henchmen, his number one campaign manager, is about to be convicted on many charges that will end up with him serving the rest of his life in prison. Now, he can hope for a presidential pardon, except the problem is that he's got other charges to face in Virginia, and I understand that he's going to be facing state charges in New York. That's state. He was in state New York Attica prison. That's a fun place to be, free retirement home. So the problem he got now is that he's up on state charges. Donald Trump can't pardon him. And what do you want to believe that this guy is going to become a witness against the president in the upcoming impeachment hearings on collusion? So, with the elections about to go miserably bad, with Donald Trump's former apprentice people, his mouthpiece, lawyer Cohen, with the stormy weather, yellow showers, he got himself a great big problem. And this is the impeachable kind of offense. Now, you add to that trade wars, the Fed raising rates, and you can see that my belief is that before the election we could have a nice little stock market crash-a-roni. Now, the stock market crashing before the elections only adds more heaps of burning coals on Donald Trump's head, and now you add trade wars, stock market crash, Fed raising rates, people losing their jobs, GDP growth slowing, and you can make a case for a nice little stock market crash, say in October. Oh, Donald. And ignore the stock market. They're deep state conspiracy people. So how much bullshit can Donald Trump spin? Well, we'll remain to see. I mean, he is the spin meister. This is the spin doctor. I mean, this is the guy who's the master at the reality TV show. The problem is that sooner or later everybody figures out it's blow and go, and it's a TV show. You can fool some of the people some of the time, but none of the people all the time. That's Donald. So how does this develop? Into a real ugly freaking situation that comes unglued. Donald Trump is in trouble. His presidency is in trouble. He's in trouble with the investigation. He's in trouble in the economy. He's in trouble in trade wars. He's in trouble in making America great again. So prepare yourself for what could well be a stock market wipeout before the midterm elections. Let's face facts. If you've got a stock market that is crashing, and it's crashing before the elections, and that's in the news, that will not be helpful. Now you got the trade wars because I'm telling you, the Chinese understand that their best bet for an early victory in a trade war is to throw Donald Trump under the bus in the elections. And they are very confident, and rightly so, that anyone, even Pence, is better than Donald Trump, and that once somebody with a brain and powers of reasoning comes into office, that they can negotiate some kind of settlement. See, Donald Trump doesn't want to negotiate anything. I understand Donald Trump's game here. He wants the confrontation. He wants to seem like the guy with the big stick. He wants to seem like the guy that's the bulldozer running through here, just getting the mountain opened up for American goods and services. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Americans cannot compete in the global manufactured good market. And why would we want to compete in steel and aluminum? Even automobile assembly business sucks. The marginal business. Ask Elon Musk in his tent factory how hard it is. So we have decided to get into a trade war we can't win. By the way, Donald Trump, I'll tell you, you got to give him credit for one thing. It's all in with Donald Trump. He has got to win the trade wars. He's got to neutralize the damages that the sanctions will do on his key vote in the Midwest. That's both factory workers and farmers. He's got a real problem there. He has got to win over the stupid majority in a big way. And he's got to have Wall Street and the economy hold together at least long enough for him to get past midterms. And none of that's going to happen. So, my friends, you have a rare opportunity to trade a wipeout because of trade wars, because of the Fed raising rates, because of a soaring in value dollar making U.S. goods non-competitive. I mean, you are really lucky because this is the biggest target-rich environment I've ever seen. And as you are seeing by the action, the stampede mentality, the herds are performing wonderfully. I love a market driven by emotion. I love a market driven by stupidity. I love a market driven by herd mentality. And God was so kind enough to give us one, and you have a moral obligation to take advantage of it. Oh, my God, this market is beautiful. This wipeout is going to be huge. The stock market downturn will be like nothing you've seen in your lifetime. Financial collapse, oh, my God. Wait and see the number of banks and firms that go broke. And you know what? You got a Federal Reserve working day and night raising rates, and you got Donald Trump. Well, he's doing everything he can to start a trade war. He's doing everything he can to make America great again, doing everything he can to get you in a factory. I mean, you got to appreciate that shit, okay? And don't forget to cause deep state conspiracy. The freedom of the press should be taken away, and Donald Trump should decide what good news is and free news. I mean, you got a dangerous guy in your hands, and he's losing his cookies. He's got his top people either under indictment or cooperating with the feds. They've got tapes. They've got pictures in Technicolor. They got witnesses that collaborated. Donald Trump's in big trouble. Couldn't happen, by the way, to a nicer guy.